I'm Daniel Perret, and I'm the Director of Product at Quavo Fraud Disputes. This is Bryce Rashofsky. He's a Senior System Architect. At Quavo, our mission is to restore financial confidence and institutional trust by simplifying the fraud and disputes process. If you're not in the fraud and dispute space, all you need to know is that Quavo can save your financial institution time and money. For those of you who are in the space, I hope you take the following 3 things away from this presentation. First, Quavo automates and simplifies the fraud and disputes management process through our flagship software offering, QFD. Second, Quavo helps financial institutions build trust with their end users and customers. And third, Quavo is using artificial intelligence to process disputes more efficiently and effectively than anyone in the industry. With that said, I want to walk you through 2 exciting new AI features that we've recently developed. First, I'd like to show you our new AI-powered inbound communications tool. This tool seamlessly integrates into our flagship offering, QFD, which you'll see on the screen behind me. QFD is Quavo's core product that allows claims managers and dispute investigators to work claims more efficiently than ever before. To give you a sense of what you're looking at, on the top of the screen we have a series of tabs. All of these represent different claims in the QFD system. We'll navigate through this while we're demonstrating our new AI tools. These tools are currently running in production, so that means every email or claim that you see has already run through a batch process and is fired before we even pulled this work up, so there's no need for a user to wait for them. Those of you who work in the fraud and dispute space, you're probably familiar with the following base premise. Today, claims managers have to have a real live person read every inbound email relating to any claim, determine what any earlier emails relating to the claim said, determine what action is necessary, and then assign that work out to whomever's managing the claim. At Quavo, we thought it might be easier if you could skip a handful of those steps and just get right to the action. To illustrate that, let's start with a somewhat manual example. Here's an email that came in from a cardholder about a claim she had filed. Let's call her Betsy. As you can see, Betsy had quite a lot to say. Regrettably, very little of it was actually relevant to the claim in question. This isn't uncommon. With our new inbound communications tool, we've been able to use AI to separate the signal from the noise, pull out the relevant information, summarize it, and be right on our way to assigning that action to the claim manager. That takes the form of this concise, actionable summary you'll see behind me above the initial email in question. Here's a slightly more automated example. This is an email that came in with a question about an existing claim. In this instance, the cardholder wants to withdraw a claim that they've already submitted. It's simple, right? This time, with our inbound communications tool, we're actually able to recognize the cardholder's request and automate it over to a claims manager to withdraw the request in real time. The agent simply indicates that they agree with QFD AI's suggested action. They hit apply. They hit process actions, and that generates a request to withdraw the claim. Lastly, let's look at a fully automated example. This is that same cardholder from before, the one who wanted to withdraw their claim. As you can see, our inbound communications tool has already read their message in its entirety, parsed out the important information, and can now generate an automated reply email to that cardholder, acknowledging both the receipt of their initial withdrawal request and informing them of the next steps necessary. The user simply, again, indicates that they want to proceed with QFD AI's suggested action, hits apply, processes the actions, and an email is auto-generated to that cardholder. That email looks something like this. As a bonus, here's the audit log of every step that was taken during that and how it was recorded in the back end of the system for your bank's records and posterity. Doing this the old-fashioned way for a single disputes claim would take multiple times longer than this entire presentation is going to take. We've got a second thing to show you today. And that's how we're leveraging AI to make dealing with representments much, much easier for financial institutions. For those of you not in the space, again, a representment is the process by which a merchant disputes a chargeback, in which they present evidence to prove the validity of the original transaction. As you might imagine, representment documents are dry, technical, and often very, very long. Today, when a merchant replies to a chargeback, a claim investigator has to review this entire document to figure out why the merchant is refusing payment. The merchant will typically include attachments providing and supporting their side of the story, as you might expect, as to why the transaction was valid. This information is not standardized in the slightest. It can be a contract, a screenshot of a system, sideways, upside down. I mean, we've seen pictures of cats personal manifestos, love letters, you name it. Behind me, Bryce is showing a relatively garden variety representment document. This one's about 7 pages long. Now, with our AI-powered representments tool, we can summarize that content in its entirety for the investigator in just a few seconds. So without having to read the whole representment, the investigator knows what's in the document. To go even a little bit deeper into a higher level of detail, investigators, when dealing with these representments, often have to read through to confirm that the representment actually applies to the transaction in question. They're looking for things like billing and shipping addresses, emails, IP addresses, names, phone numbers. Our tool pulls out all this information from the representment document and presents it in a clean, simply structured table so that the investigator can quickly compare it to the information from the claim and make sure that it applies. So, in closing, I want to tell you that at Quavo, we don't believe that AI's purpose is to replace people. It's actually quite on the contrary for us. We think it's intended to enhance employee output and accuracy, which ultimately leads to stronger customer relationships, better service outcomes, and higher institutional trust. This isn't a buzzword for us. You're going to hear AI 1,000 times today. We've actually been leveraging AI since day one of our business, and over 8 years of proven results make it a core part of how we increase institutional trust. Since our inception, we've actually recovered over $1 billion for over 9.4 million victims of financial fraud, and I like to think we're just getting started. So I'd love to tell you more about how Quavo can help your financial institution deliver best-in-class fraud and dispute support, but we've only got about 25 seconds left up here. So we've got a booth out on the demo floor. We'd love it if you'd come and talk to us. Again, I'm Daniel Perret. That's Bryce Rashofsky. We're with Quavo Fraud and Disputes. We'd love it if you'd consider voting for us for Best in Show. Thank you so much.